because we went through the farm crisis before, lost 15% of our farmers, can't do it. But when those farms went out of business, the people buying up those farms were other farms.
And I've heard many conversations with agriculturists, agribusiness men and women, is lack of the information, misguided information, and they don't have follow-up on information.
Yep.
And the one thing I like about all your programs, Ron, is they have a resource to follow up with on.
And you can vet it through a couple of resources. Even within a specific state, most of our states, we have multiple resources that they can talk to. And they can come back to our center, which is vetting it on a regional or national level. And so I tell farmers that if they've connected with the farm champion and that farm champion helped you, please contact us and give us your success story.
Wow.
Because I've been doing this for 30 years, and the number one place a farmer will learn from is another farmer.
Wow.
So one of the things we do with Farm Champion is we highlight the expertise, but we highlight a farmer or rancher's success.
Wow.
And the thing that I'm trying to do with all of our farm champions, the expectation for a farm champion is that one, they serve our farmers and ranchers. Two, that they promote the Ag FTAP program in the Farm Champion Network. But three, they give us a farmer or rancher success story to allow those farmers to see themselves and say, this is the issue that I'm dealing with. I want to get a solution similar to what they got. It may not be the same because each farmer is unique, but to be able to deliver that in a one-on-one framework, I think it really helps change the paradigm of what our farmers see when they don't, they're operating in isolation. And I'm not sure how much time we have, but I do want to talk about this financial stress because we just launched, and within Ag FTAP, we actually have some farmer mental stress resources.
No, we got plenty of time for you.
Oh, yeah. And so one of the things that we're in the process of launching, I think I can go ahead and say it without getting in trouble, is because we haven't signed the paperwork yet. But American Farm Bureau Federation has a financial mental stress program that includes both a peer-to-peer mentorship. Farmers that have agreed, that have walked that path, and that have agreed to be available to talk to another farmer that's going through some mental stress. Two, they have some counselors that they can plug you into for free to help you talk through what you're going through to help you better understand. Because one of the reasons you mentioned suicide is very high, and it was. One of the things that alarmed me was back in the spring, I think we had 5 suicides in Arkansas.
Wow, that's a lot.
And that's when this was last year. And so that was when I started launching within our center a financial mental stress program. I have a person with a master's in counseling. And I said, you work in agriculture, I can train you on ag risk. I know nothing about counseling. And she still gave it, and to me as an introductory framework, as an economist looking in this space, she talks about the reasons why that suicide is so high. So many farmers, farming is their identity.
Yes.
It is a multi-generational family legacy. So if you lose the farm, you done lost great-great-grandparents' business.
Oh, yes.
Much of their work is done in isolation because you work in a farm, you're out there, you see that beautiful field that we're looking at right now. But so when they're out there plowing that field, they're in the tractor by themselves, many hours by themselves. They're in the barn, many hours by themselves. So they're working in isolation. And then many of them are in rural areas where that counseling of capacity and availability is very limited. And if you're in a small community, very taboo, I'm going to see the counselor. And we're trying to take that myth away from it. We're trying to let farmers know that they're not alone. And we're trying to let farmers, wherever their level of comfort, it can be an impersonal phone call. It can be trying to identify someone for them to go visit with. But we want them to know that they're not alone. Because the deal is that if they're going through this alone, then that's when you get to those dire consequences, when they see no way out. And many of them are spiritual, so they feel abandoned. If their crop fails, they feel abandoned.
I can attest to that because, as we, talk with farmers, across this country, the first question I ask is, anybody out there like me? Is anybody out there going through what I'm going through? And sometimes they say, is there any more farmers left?
Exactly. Because if they ain't chatting with them at the coffee shop, and here's the other deal, because the average age of the U.S. farmer, I think, is 58.
Yeah, I think it's 58.
So even if it's not suicide, when they go to the coffee shop, the numbers that are sitting around that table are dwindling just because of age.
Absolutely.
And so there's a loneliness factor there of just people that they can talk to.
Absolutely.
And so for our farmers to understand that there's somebody out there that can understand and have this conversation, more importantly, that can say, I went through what you're going through, versus just having a counselor come in to try to talk to you and they say, oh, this person doesn't know what they're not a farmer. They're not a rancher. They haven't dealt with what I'm dealing with. They haven't sat there and looked at their crop when they were just waiting on rain.
Exactly.
Or they had a beautiful crop and then all of a sudden they had a disease or a pest infestation. And they're looking at their yields decrease every day unless they make a decision that's going to cost them a lot and impact their yield, but they're going to have to come out and do something. And so that type of pressure that you're under every day,
Absolutely.
and if you're making it in isolation by yourself, and if you feel like you made a mistake with your decision, think about how that would weigh on somebody's heart. And all of a sudden, their bottom line has suffered drastically, and they think that they waited too late, or they didn't act, or they made the wrong decision, or they made a decision, still lost yield, but ended up with a big bill from a chemical company that they said, well, that didn't change my yield. I could have just rode with it.
And a lot of farmers feel that, they are, like you say, isolation. They feel that they don't have anyone to talk to understand agri. And agriculture, farming, is already under the stigma,
Yep.
and they hate to, and I've seen farmers hate to say, well, I'm a farmer. They're proud of what they do, they're proud of their work, but they know the stigma that's associated to it.
Yep.
So that's an added stress to the
It
farmers.
is. And one of the things that I hope to do as we build out the network, because I had a farmer tell me that he loved the network, he loved the Farm Champion, but he said, "Ron," and he was an old man. He said, "Look, I'm too late to help me. Get the next generation." I said, "I don't think it's too late. I want to help as many farmers as I can, but so I'm intensely building out this network to serve farmers, especially during this crisis. But in the year to come, I hope to start bringing out some youth components.
Yes.
To start talking about career pathways in ag, career pathways to being a farm champion, the value of what our farmers bring. Because I love to go in a meeting and I'm talking in a group and I'll say, how many people you connected with ag? And usually the farmers, quote unquote, will raise their hand. And I'll say, did you eat today? And everybody raise a hand. And I say, if you ate today, you connected to ag.
Absolutely. and that's so what? A lot of people, agriculture is misunderstood.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And
agriculture is misunderstood.
And then we got people that good intended, but may come and not understand how risky it is.
Yeah, very.
Many
very
people
risky.
that left corporate America traded in their retirement and went out and bought a farm. And come into high stress situations because they said, nobody told me it was going to be this hard.
I've heard that.
Nobody's told me it's going to be this hard. Unfortunately, I've heard situations where people have committed suicide. You come out, you sold out everything, you got this new path, and you're out there farming, and you realize the first 2 years that you're going to make 30% of the money you thought you were going to make. And you're like, I got my whole family out here. And if they don't have a network to help them walk through growing their assets and that they can see that light, and it is difficult. I'm like, man, I got a friend trying to teach me how to play craps, and I'm like, man, I don't gamble that much. But you look at these farmers and the investment they make, and it's a gamble, but they do it because of their love for farming.
Yeah.
And the love when they can bring that crop in, to bring that harvest in. And to me, what really makes it come full circle, I'm a small town rural kid, is that to me, families are the foundation of our communities.
Absolutely.
When you get out to our rural communities, next to the families that are there, farms are the foundation of those rural families.
In there.
Without the farms, without those entrepreneurs, which is what they are, without those entrepreneurs, our rural communities will not survive. And so, to me, it's also a resource opportunity. If we can teach with technology today, if you got broadband access, you can market to the world.
The entire world.
You can market to the world. I had a farmer tell me, he said, Ron, I grew my farm, and it's just being innovative, but you got to be connected. He said, I grew our revenue $100,000 last year by adding agritourism to our farm. Oh. We bring groups on to our farm, let them sit in a farm setting, explain to them where their produce is grown, many of those events are centered around direct to consumer or direct to institutional sales. But he's grown that now he's almost like an event center because his family farm has grown into this agritourism. So think about being innovative in that way, because I watch it. I think I'm a great cook, but I love watching cooking shows. It's one of the most popular reality shows out there.
It is very popular.
And so my deal is, I tell farmers, and I go to farmers markets, I say, do you give out any recipes for the product you sell? You can grow your sale. I remember because I went to a mushroom farm and I said, man, this is phenomenal. I love this. I'm understanding how mushrooms are produced. But I said, but here's something I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need some recipes. What am I gonna buy? I'm gonna buy a jar of mushrooms. What I do with them? Because I didn't think I liked them that much. When he gave me 4 recipes, I realized I like mushrooms.
And see, you hear all these programs farm to table. You know.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people, in urban areas or urban areas, people are looking into
Absolutely.
fresh foods and fresh.
Well, and to me, part of that changes this whole stigma or this whole stereotype of what a farmer is. Because if we can really get it fully engaged and connect our farmers in our community and actually start moving into a whole nother subject matter, move into food as medicine, looking at eating healthy, eating fresh, locally grown products, produce primarily. What does that mean for you from a nutritional perspective and from a preventive adverse health issues perspective? Then all of a sudden you change the whole narrative. What if people looked at our farms as if they were a pharmacy? Because right now we treat our issues with a pill.
And in many healthcare, in many small rural communities, I came out of the back of the country, same thing in South Carolina with the rural communities, the lack of healthcare, access to healthcare. And of course, we could talk about how back the old remedies and stuff, but a lot of it comes straight from healthy eating, food choices, and that's where it comes from. Well, Rob, sounds like y'all have a plethora of opportunities for these farmers. And looking ahead, I know you mentioned the word AI as well, but looking ahead, Ron, where do you see us? Where do you see us in that?
Well, so in agriculture is gonna survive.
It's not going nowhere.
Well, I'll tell you, we got to eat every day. Now, the problem that I really stress about now is because we went through the farm crisis before, lost 15% of our farmers came through it. But when those farms went out of business, the people buying up those farms were other farms.
Interesting statistic.
This go around, there were other farms because they were still trying to get bigger. Yeah. Right now, we have many of our big farms. They're like, I can't get any bigger. I'm inefficient right now. But more importantly, there's other interests. So if you go to a farm sale, and unfortunately, there's a lot of farm sales out there, and I wish that there would be a little bit more research on this space. Yeah. You go to a farm sale today, you might have billionaires, hedge funds, solar companies, data center companies out there bidding for these farms because they just want the natural resource and it's not necessarily to farm.
I've heard the rich and super rich is in agriculture. We've heard the Bill Gates, the Oprahs, and all are in agriculture.
Well, here's the deal, and I had some farmers, I forget what state it was in, but there was a farm that went up for sale, and all the local farmers was going around bidding, trying to figure out who was going to bid what, and then Bill Gates showed up at the auction. All bets were off. All bets were off.
What did you do with Bill Gates?
Well, the deal of it was that, imagine those farmers, some of them just went home, they're like, oh, Bill Gates is here. Yeah. I can't bid with him. He's bidding for a different motive than farm profitability, trying to expand the farm.
Absolutely.
And those are things we think about, but the thing that I think about is what happens to those rural communities.
Yes.
What happens to those rural communities?
Just
many states are coming up with laws to limit foreign ownership of ag land because it is a key thing. I would also look, and I know some of it is zoning, but the dollar rules everything eventually. But there should be some consideration for how agriculture is structured, especially when the average age is almost 60.
Yep.
Who's going to own farming in 10 years?
That's a great question. With the exodus, hate to say with suicide, and the exodus of agriculture, the stigma, the financial stress, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Yeah, and so, But for AgFTEP, I hope that we're providing that valued, credible, trusted technical assistance to help our farmers not only be profitable, but be resilient and reposition themselves during this difficult time.
Ron, from listening to you and knowing you, I think what you provide for AgFTEP, Farm Champion, and under your SRA and MEC programs, it is absolutely amazing. And everyone should understand this resource that you're offering. They need to be a part of it, and especially ones who are coming back in agriculture. They need to be reaching out. Is there a direct line, website, that you want to mention?
Oh, absolutely. So agftep.org is the website.
agftep.org.
If you go out to agftep.org, we actually have an 800 number that they can reach out to. So if you don't have internet access, it's 888-200-6013.
We'll repeat that.
So 888-200-6013.
What?
That or agftep.org. That'll get you plugged into the network. Or just, I hate to say it, but Google AgFTEP or Google Ron Rainey.
Well, I want to say, to our listening audience, please dial that number. Because what Dr. Rainey has said is that if you're not even in your area, then you're around the country in their region.
Absolutely.
And dial that number, you'll be able to identify a region that they can talk to. But after talking to you, Ron, they're going to want to talk to you. I already know. They're going to stay in your region. I would do.
Well, I'll tell you, we're just trying to provide value for our farmers and ranchers, ultimately providing value for our communities.
Well, Dr. Rainey, I want to say, first of all, it's been an honor to have you here today. It's been an honor to have you on Darrell's Corner. And so I can only say thank you, thank you, thank you. And as our effort goes to provide resources to our agricultural community, agribusiness communities and stuff, thank you, Ron, for being the number one resource that we can provide, and say thank you for being here.
Hey, happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, Ron, Dr. Rainey, I say, Ron, I hope we can say we're friends. This is my friend. But Dr. Rainey, thank you so much for being here. And this is an addition here. We thank y'all for joining us here on Darrell's Corner. So again, Dr. Rainey, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we look forward, and I hope this is not the last time now, because we're going to be doing some follow-ups on the success of these programs and stuff.
Anytime.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Dr. Rainey.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for being here today. It's a pleasure to have you here. And so please visit Dr. Ron Rainey's information mentioned here today below.